Greetings, dear viewers. I'm Quill Quickcard, and welcome back to Mindustry, where you can see I have done a little bit of spreading, and we're going to be going into the tar fields today. So I already scouted, and I know that the enemies are going to come here, so I have a really convenient choke point here. So I've got a good amount of stuff set up. I've got a lot of resources. There's a lot of... Ooh. There's a lot of derelict stuff across the map. Honestly, a lot of it's actually pretty good. There's even a phase weaver, which is great because I have absolutely no idea how to use it. The enemies are basically going to be forced to come through this choke point. So the first thing I want to do is set up some kind of a defense there. Let's just do something a little basic to start. I mean, why the hell not just run a salvo at first? They're good enough. They are going to need a copper source. I do have some copper, so that should be okay. Just run a distributor. There we go. Apparently it decided to get very windy outside. That is inconvenient. Alright. The automatic conveyor pathfinding is not the best, I would have to say. But I also really do need this stuff to be running at pretty high efficiency. So... No, not that one. The drill. No, not the laser drill, the pneumatic drill. I swear I know what I'm doing. Okay. So 3.6 water each to increase your speed. So we'll just dump out a couple of mechanical pumps. Yeah, we'll go like that. The next big thing I'm going to need is a power supply. So the easiest way to do that is the steam generator, which cannot run... let's see. Combustion generators can run... No, they can't run on oil. Okay. So I am going to need to generate an initial supply of power. There we go. And run a few basic generators. And another distributor. Run a line into here, run a line into there, run a line into there. And there we go. And that just leaves these ones. Nope, we can't do that because it will try to output. And that just leaves this one. Okay. That's fine. All right, let's get our preliminary defenses built. Let's actually start by getting the copper supply going. Oh, there we go. And while we are at it here, we should run a container as well. Very good. Actually, no. Let's fill this up first. That'll be enough to handle the initial waves. And this will be enough to get some starting power. Which is going to be pretty darn important. Okay. So I now have a phase weaver, which apparently takes thorium and sand. Interesting. We're going to disassemble the rest of this. I really don't think I'm going to need any of that right now. We are going to have a scrap field, which is good. I can probably end up repurposing most of this zone to get a lot of material. There we go. Build some nice batteries. Not really any particularly meaningful advantage to getting this all out of here. I mean, a handful of supplies that I already have, but we've got some initial defenses set up, and I think there we go. All right, let's get rid of all of that. Let's start loading up as much oil as possible. And we'll just have a line going around the whole thing. It's not the most efficient, but it will be functional at least. Oh. And we also need to rebuild this. Okay. So, it is refilling. We now have the power to run coal centrifuges. Coal centrifuges require an input of 6 per second. Okay. So we can definitely afford to run a few of them. Okay. And power. And power. Okay. So these are going to run into a line of steam generators. Honestly, let's just simplify this. Steam generator, steam generator, steam generator, steam generator, steam generator, steam generator. Okay. And another couple of nodes here. We run all of this into here. And then every steam generator requires 6 water. So we can go ahead and have a container. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pumps. Good. That's pump 1, that's pump 2, that's pump 3, pump 4, pump 5, and pump 6. Very good. Do the centrifuges need any other input? No? Okay. Alright, please start outputting. Thank you. There we go. Alright. Power is online. We're running at a massive surplus. So we can honestly just disassemble the entire coal power facility. None of that is necessary. We can leave the coal machines working. Cool. Alright. That is a lot of coal. We can still put more centrifuges on the line. We also should really move that. There we go. Okay. And another line here for even more coal production. There we go. Okay. That is wonderful. Next, we are going to run an overflow off of this, which can feed into the coal line here. This coal line, I don't really know what I'm doing with it yet. Probably silicone. That's coal and sand. I could also run the crucible. No, it takes pyrite, and pyrite's a pain. So we'll run a silicone smelter. There we go. Okay. Yeah, let's just relay these lines. Okay. Cool. Very good. Okay, and a bunch of those. And then a few more lines here. Next thing we are going to need is a couple of laser drills. So we'll run 2 of those with 2 more mechanical pumps. 1 per laser drill. Just to get some sand rolling. That is going to be a absolute ton of sand. And that will run a silicone line. And then the silicone line can go ahead and feed into the core. Very good. Yep, let's get the sand flowing. Very nice. Okay, we got sand. Next thing, air factory. Let's get an air factory built. Let's actually move it a little further away. And the air factory needs lead and silicone to produce monos. So we will put a couple of unloaders here. Monos. You are going to unload silicone. You are going to unload lead. You're both feeding into here. We need power. Okay, that connects the power line here. Next, we need a power line running up to our defenses. Just like that. Okay. And I do not trust a map that hands me a I do not trust a map that hands me a choke point this effortlessly. Okay. There we go. Power is connected. We are now building monos. So that's going to help. We've got a huge sand line going in. The next thing I'm going to do is work on getting the phase fabric machine up and running. We are still very early in the stage, so that shouldn't be a problem. I also think now is a good time to build a vault, just so we can store a lot of bullets and put down Yep, that's a hell of a thing. Okay, the vault is getting filled up. Once it's filled up, it'll continue outputting. None of this is necessary. And I don't have the time to spend repairing it. So we need... what was it? Thorium and sand. Okay. Well, having sand feed into it, that is not a problem. Running thorium into it... is that the best thorium spot we have? I think so. Oh, no, here we go. Okay. That is where we will run the thorium. Thorium can run into here. Obviously, you're going to need an output line. And you are going to need to do an input line. And then a couple more pumps. We have now unlocked a new material. We now have access to phase fabric. There we go. Oh god. Okay, I think it breached. No, it didn't breach. They just haven't finished unloading this. Okay. Let's make sure we build an unloader. There we go. Okay. I am glad I kept an eye on my map there. So, phase fabric, huh? That sounds exciting. I have no idea what it is. But I imagine it's going to be useful for all sorts of awesome builds. Okay, phase fabric is running. So now that I have done that, I assume that I will unlock the building to produce that stuff. Okay. I don't see it. That's fine. I'm going to assume maybe I can make it go faster with water? I don't know. Just a wild guess. Maybe it would need cryo fluid instead. Let's see if this makes it output faster. No sign that the rate of production has increased. Phase conduit, phase conveyor, logic displays, memory banks, RTD generator, large solar panel, that might be useful. Phase walls, segments. Okay. So, if there is a way to speed it up, then I am ignorant of it. In the meantime, supplies are doing okay. Let's build a few lancers. We're still running a very solid power surplus. Okay. That's pretty good. So we are consistently putting out material. We're not putting in sand as fast as we need to. That is the weakness. So this will increase my phase fabric output. Okay. Wait, I have an idea. Okay. It won't let me copy a blueprint that I don't have. So I assume that I need this. That I assume this is going to be the phase thing. Alright, that's fine. We've got our production going here about as quickly as it could. We are running enough coal that we could produce some other possibilities. What the hell is this thing? Surge alloy production. Oh. Right. I mean, we've got access to scrap fields. We could set up surge alloy production. On my last area, I actually set up some pretty efficient plastanium production. So, honestly, I might as well. Come on. Good, good, good. We're going to need a lot of scrap. I think there was also some derelict stuff up in the north. It might be a little more... Yeah, this may reveal a more lucrative field. So, if we're going to go with a surge smelter, it needs copper, lead, titanium, and silicone. I'm producing silicone, and the rest can be produced by a separator. Looking for anywhere we can securely put a maximum efficiency laser drill. This is probably as good as I'm going to get. So let's go this way. And connect the lines over here. We're still running a surplus of nearly 1,000. So that's good. We're going to run the Surge Alloy Production Facility here. And the outputs are going to go this way. Okay. So let's read the notes. Copper, lead, titanium input will output any graphite if input from the separator. Okay. And this is the silicone input. So we've got a crap load of silicone now. We've got our full supply of monos. We're not going to need these unloaders active anymore. Let's run... How much silicone does the surge smelter actually need? Okay. Let's just redirect the entire line up here. So there's the silicone input. We'll output any graphite. So this is the overflow gate. We'll output any graphite if input from a separator. So that one is set to graphite. So the graphite needs to go that way. And then this is the overflow if I'm running slowly. So then what we need is a separator which can handle 4 slag per second. A single melter can output 12 slag. So a single melter can supply 3 separators. And then we need the melter here. We're actually going to put it there. Run our conveyor into that. And we're going to have it output to a liquid container. And then we'll put another power node here. Okay. Power supplies are still healthy. Okay. So we're definitely going to need more... we're definitely going to need more slag running into the system. And if we can run 2 melters, that would be preferable. Okay. There we go. Okay. That is a pretty decent amount of stuff. This is the silicon feeding line. We'll get rid of all this. Okay. There we go. The air factory is fully upgraded, so that's good. I think a little bit more on the line is still preferable. This one's running more consistently. Screw it, just more drills. No, we can't have that drill there. But we can have a drill here. Which will run there. And then this can just output onto there. Okay. That should be enough to keep it going. Now what I really need to do is take care of this overflow line. We also want to run an overflow gate here for when the silicone gets backed up. Okay. And also want to make sure we have an output line for the blast compound, or the surge compound. This is going to be a really long line. But that's okay. Go. And all the way there. And then lastly, we have to work on the overflow line. Which can run right here. And here, and here, and here, and here, and down, and with a junction. Ah. No, we're going to need the junction here. So you go that way, you go that way. You can go up and around this, and around that. And my incredibly inefficient line can go like that. And with all of that placed, I'm also going to need to start worrying about my titanium supply, which I am not seeing. Okay. That's fine. Once it's a little less backed up, it's all going to be a lot better. Why must I always do these supremely insane conveyors? Okay, that is fine. Okay. All right. Everything is functional. Okay. It still gets stuck. Let's go around like that. Okay. All right. Everyone good? Everyone outputting like you're supposed to? It still gets backed up. Okay, if it gets backed up here, then we need an overflow gate running to just an incinerator, I think. Okay. There we go. Okay. And we'll add a couple more of those just to make sure that we cannot clog up the system. We're still running a very good power surplus. Okay. Okay, so that did not work. The final step with the copper did work. The system is working. But I think we need more separators. So let's see if we are producing enough slag. I really can't put the conduit there because the melter will try to output to it. But I can put a conduit here. And make a weird long alternate path like that. Okay. That one is not functioning. So up and over. Nope. Nope. We are not letting that leak. There we go. Okay. It's still putting out enough liquid. The final incinerator is doing what it is supposed to and getting rid of extra copper. So we have a very small trickle of surge alloy being produced. Just a really crappy amount of it. Every laser drill is 60 units of power. Sure. just go ahead and build a couple. I don't care. And you can go ahead and output onto the Surge alloy line. It's not like you're doing anything useful. Do a bit of that. I also haven't checked on my defenses, like, at all. They look like they're doing pretty well. I mean, everything looks okay. I think I can even afford to go ahead and enhance the walls. Okay. So, what do salvos do better with? They do better with thorium. Okay. Can I get a thorium source into that? There's a thorium source down here. Okay. So let's run a laser drill here. Another pump line here. Okay. So now that I've got this thorium line, we have to navigate it all the way up to the top of the map and replace my copper feed line with this one. Which I can just do by feeding it into here. Okay, that will work. It's not a super fast trickle of thorium, but it will be enough for my purposes. And we can just wait. There we go. Yeah, we can just wait for the next waves to exhaust the copper supply, and they will start being loaded with the thorium instead. God, these things are tough. Holy crap. Oh, and we're just going to destroy that. Honestly, I really don't think we need to vault. Or at least we just need a vault that's dealing with thorium and doesn't have like 1,000 copper in it. There we go. We are also now getting phase fabric this entire time. Good. Let's take a look at our research. Segment. Damages and destroys incoming projectiles. Laser projectiles are not targeted. I mean, that's pretty sick, to be honest. Phase walls. Getting the large solar panels might be worth it. I don't know how efficient they are. We are not even halfway done with the waves on this level. How are we with the thorium? Oh, hell yes. Oh, the difference that thorium makes. We're doing more than double the damage. Something I think is very important, though. I want to get a couple of waves set up in the event of fires. Waves take... I don't know, some amount of water. Sure, just go like that. That's fine. And we will run a liquid container here. There we go. So that should be a bunch of water seeping in. All right. Yeah, they're barely even getting close enough to engage the Lancers anymore. Not bad. Not bad at all. I was actually using fuses on a previous level, and they are quite good. I could run a tsunami, too. How much would the tsunami need? Because if the tsunami can make them wet... Alright. Do we have enough water to maintain the supply? It looks like we are okay. So now we can spray the enemies with water, which will make them more susceptible to my Lancers in the event that they get close. Okay. Not bad. And we're just generating a crap load of resources. About the only things we're not producing are plastanium, which I've got a whole other sector that can deal with that, and metaglass, and I've got a whole other sector that can do that. Oh, the bulwark succeeded. After this next wave, I'll take a quick look at the bulwark, and I will show you why I was absolutely not concerned about that sector handling an attack on its own. There is a reason that I named it the bulwark. How much... God, a lot of phase fabric goes into those. So, longer bridges. That's a thing that I'm going to gain access to. That's kind of interesting. Foreshadow styles a single target bolt over long distance. Interesting. Yeah, let's go ahead and get that next wave. Oh, you guys are about to have a bad day. Nice. Alright, they shot me down. Let's actually take a quick look at the bulwark. This is my defense for the bulwark. It relies on a bunch of ripples and a bunch of lancers and a metric ton of scatters and has a self-healing death corridor that it forces them into. It is some of my finest work, if I'm being honest. Alright. Let's just go ahead and rush through a few waves. That worked. Next wave. My defenses are simply too strong. Protect structures from enemy projectiles reflecting most bullets upon impact. I'm sorry, it does what? That is awesome! Yeah, I'd love to get some large phase walls. Oh god, I can build... I can build reflecting walls. Oh, that's kind of busted. That is really cool. Alright, next wave. That went well. Yeah, like, these walls are the ones most likely to get hurt, and they're fine. And we are barely dipping into my power reserves during the heaviest assaults. Still... I think it would be best to replace this one with another salvo. There we go. Cool. Next. Go, my tiny gun. Yeah, this is working out pretty well. Next wave. Alright, this is going to be the real test now that we have shields. Never mind. The shields were not the true test. That went well. Next. Next, wave 30. Guardian approaching in 10 waves. The problem with the Guardian is that I don't know what it's going to do. And I don't know what it's going to be. If it is an air unit, then it's hard to tell exactly what it's going to target. Probably it would try to head toward my power generation. I have noticed that a good number of them like to do that. Oh. Did I never finish my titanium feed line? Oh dear God. Well, that would explain why my titanium numbers weren't going up. Oh my god, my silicone production is so backed up. Holy crap. Okay, yeah, no, you need your own dedicated output line. Okay, that's fine. Whoops. That is not the place for one of those. Okay. Sure. Oh my god, we have so much silicone. Sure, go over this way, go down this way, go this way, and that way, and over here, and down here, and just crisscross around there. I'm sure it's fine. And straight into the core. Alright, let's finish that silicon overflow line. Okay. That's fine. Oh my god. Alright, it's actually flowing again. It's actually flowing again. I think we're fine. Do the surge smelters work faster with... No. They do not work faster with liquid. That's great. Okay. Okay. We just need to clear out a whole bunch of the lines. They got backed up with the silicone. Alright, we should be fine now. Yes. Okay. It seems to be working alright. We are still producing a steady stream. Whoa! Nothing over here needs rebuilding, right? No, we're fine. We've got over 400 thorium in the vault. Oh, wow. Okay. That is a little concerning. They don't... I think we're going to need another line of walls. Honestly, it might be time to revisit my unit production and get some air units. Let's take a look at the database. So there's the flares, there's the Horizon, which bombs ground units, and there is the Zenith. Okay, so we are going to start Zenith production. Okay. So, first things first, we are going to need another air factory. And that is going to require just pure silicone. Okay. And then that will run into an additive reconstructor. And the additive reconstructor is going to need silicone and graphite. Okay. And what about the multiplicative reconstructor? That one also takes silicone. Okay. So first things first, we are going to run an unloader. And then this unloader is going to run into a distributor. And then the distributor is going to run into an additive reconstructor, which will run into a multiplicative reconstructor. So this is going to be the silicone feed. Now the additive also needed graphite. Actually, I've learned my lesson with unloaders. They will try to unload absolutely everything if you give them the chance. So this is the silicone line. Let's start the unloading process. Wow, you take a long time to build. Okay, let's prioritize the belts, please. Okay. You will get the graphite, which will load into this one. Oh, right. Power. Power. We also need power. Oh, and build flares. Oh my god, build the power node so this can get started. Okay. Good. So that is what we need. Now this needs titanium and metaglass. So this unloader will be metaglass, this unloader will be titanium. Okay. Which goes in like that, and then the metaglass. Okay. Good. And then... Alright, this is how we set a waypoint. So we're going to have the Tier 3 air units output out here. So that's going to burn through a lot of stuff. We are now running a severe power deficit. And I think we are going to need another steam generator. Okay. Whoops. And another line of conduits here feeding into this. There's our first zenith. Okay. I think we're going to need one more steam generator. So this one we're just going to run a router and a pump off. There's another zenith. Okay, we are at a surplus again. And we have the zeniths running in case I need them to intercept the Guardian. But I don't want to use up all of my hard-earned resources doing this. So once this thing is done with this build, there we go. Oh, I see. I should have had this output to multiple multiplicatives. I see. Okay. Alright. That makes sense. I'm pretty sure this one is just off. Come on, unit. Join your family. The Guardian scares me. I don't know what I'm going to be up against, and that frightens me. Okay. This one's done. There we go. There we go. And we're done. So now we just take out the unloaders. We recycle all of this material back into the base. Oh. Okay, well, this one wasn't done. It's fine. Wow, it takes a long time to deal with you. Holy crap, that is too long. Alright, good. Okay. There we go. Disassemble all of that. And all the unused materials have been recycled. And now I have an Air Force that I can use to intercept the Guardian if it turns out to be an issue. Alright. There we go. We've got a crap load of materials. Am I getting any... Oh my god, this thing. Oh god. It's... This is such a hassle. Okay, overflow gate. And an incinerator. There. That works fine. Is any titanium getting through? No. Now no titanium is getting through. This design sucks. I'm going to have to make it bigger and more efficient. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm going to build a version of it right here. Okay. Guardian. Alright, it's ground units. This is laughable. Oh, God! Oh, my God. Holy hell! What the crap is that thing? Oh my god. Oh, I did not build a strong enough army. Okay, okay, okay. It's fine. This area is still usable. Um, we need way more salvos immediately. Holy hell. Oh my god. Oh my god. I I don't think there's anything I can do to stop this. Uh okay. 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 Uh all right, let me think here. Let me think carefully. Um so it's going to have to make for my core. This path is closest, so I can build a salvo defense line here. What's the button I press to go into build mode here? Okay. All right. So, yes, it's going to come down this way. So, what I need are distributor salvo lines. And I genuinely do not know if it's going to be possible for me to get these built in time. Okay, you all go into there now. Okay. Hold on. While it's up, I can also get some walls built. Damn it. God, there's so much titanium. Okay. I don't know where it goes. I assume it goes down this narrow road. Okay. Okay. Jesus. No, I've got nothing. I've got absolutely nothing. There's nothing I can do here. Okay. Well, first off, we're going to need to build a crap load of lancers. Just everywhere. Everywhere lancers. I do not care what it takes. This thing is coming this way, and I have to stop it. Freaking hell! Damn it! Okay, I just need to accept it's going to take out everything here. Now that does mean that by luck, it's going to have to spend a very, very long time destroying things. What is the longest range thing I have? Swarmers. Okay. I can build swarmers. We're basically going to burn through all of my stuff to do this. But I seriously do not have a choice anymore. We're going to need all of my Surge Alloy if I'm going to survive. Okay. On top of that, we are going to be running power systems here. We're going to be running Lancers all up and down the way. Lancers. Boy. Do I have anything that stops electricity? The Surge Wall, I think Plastanium absorbs lasers and electric arcs. Okay. So I need laser barriers active. I need mend projectors active. Okay. I assume it's going to take it a while before it's able to destroy enough that it will start... Ah, damn it. Okay. There. Okay. Oh god. Build the goddamn swarmers! No. Okay. 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 Fine. Build the swarmer here. And surround it with plastic. Just surround it in plastic. Get rid of all of that. Okay. Crap. Okay. Build that one. Oh my god. Okay, the Ripple is still alive. Fire at it. Holy hell. That was absolute and total BS. Nothing in this entire stage prepared me for the possibility that I might have to deal with something like that. Just disassemble all that. I do not care. I I need water to put that out. Sure. Run a liquid router here. Come on, get going. There we go. Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let's get this back up. We need my power production. And we need it quickly. Okay. Do you have any idea how many resources it's going to take to rebuild everything that I've lost here? Crap. Alright. Yeah. I have to rebuild so damn much. That was dumb. Like there was nothing fun or interesting about that. That was just dumb. Okay. 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 I'm going to fix this damn thing once and for all. First, it is going to go over here. Then it is going to run a sorter. No, an inverted sorter. So if it is not graphite, or if it is graphite, it goes off the line. Okay? Next, it is going to run over here. It is going to have an overflow gate leading into an incinerator. This will then lead into the inverted sorter. This one being for that's copper, titanium. This one being for lead. So, if it isn't lead, then it will feed into this line. If this line gets an overflow, it will output to an incinerator. Okay. And if it is lead, then it will run here and here. Look, I'm not. Look, I can fix it, but I've got to end this episode at some point. Like, this is absolutely obscene. Like the amount of effort that went into these defenses to just see them like so casually destroyed is so absolutely frustrating and disheartening to me. if there had been, like, weaker units earlier that, you know, were relying on lasers, so I could be like, oh, hey, I should probably prepare to deal with lasers, then I would not be nearly so upset with what just happened. The Guardian basically took out the majority of my entire facility. There we go. And what really annoys me is that I already know I'm actually going to end up making the effort to get the surge alloy thing back online. Because I need someplace making surge alloys. That was so unbelievably frustrating. Just, wow. That was not fun. That was not interesting. That was not a challenge. That was a situation where my survival was purely because of luck. Purely because I just happened to be able to put out a unit that was able to stop it. Oh, okay. Well, that's the tar fields. Now I imagine I can finally learn to make the phase weavers. How exciting. Kind of over it now. We can make... I don't know, what other sort of stuff can we make right now? I mean, there's definitely a lot of... A mass driver. Long-range item transport collects batches of items, shoots them to other mass drivers. That makes sense. Phase conduits, that's fine. RTG generator. Sure, why not? I don't know what you are, but fine. Yeah, go ahead and... What even is that new thing? An RTG generator? So, it takes thorium and phase fabric. Wait, that's it? Wait. That is so expensive! What the hell situation am I going to be in where... Oh, no, it'll take thorium or phase fabric. Okay. Okay, this is actually pretty useful, to be honest. That is something I could use in a situation where I have thorium. Where, I mean, I could just make an unloader, start with some thorium, and use it to start the power facilities. Of course, I have to rebuild my defenses, because God knows what could happen next. At some point, I'll have to come in here and basically replace all of this crap with plastinium walls. Alright, that is enough for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.